Let's move on to athletics now. With just weeks to the start of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, Nigeria's track and field stars are experiencing a hot streak of form. For instance, Tobi Amusan ran the fastest time in the world at the Jamaican Invitational, blistering time. Then Samuel Ogazi ran the fastest 400 meters by a Nigerian man since 1987 at the SEC Championships, which is also the second fastest time in Nigeria's history. And don't forget that Nathaniel Ezekiel set a new national record by running the men's hurdles in 48.0 seconds flat. And Ella Onojuvwevwo also ran the fastest 400 meters by a Nigerian woman in the last 20 years. All of them qualified for the Olympics. Something is going on. And to tell us all about this is our good friend, athletics expert, and also country director of Making of Champions, one of Nigeria's finest athletics promotions company. I'm talking about Deji Ogayimbo. He joins us now from Atlanta in the United States of America. Deji, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. Can you hear me, Deji?
Good evening.
There he is, always looking pretty, always having a first smile on his face. Thank you. And I can see the smile on your face because you're just as excited as I am, because it seems as there's something going on in Nigerian athletics. First, the 4x100 men, 4x100 women men, 4x400 men.
4x400 mix.
4x400 mix as well. Possibly the 4x400 women in Cameroon next month as well. Now, these athletes running blistering times. I don't know about you, but they are hot. They are flaming hot right now. But I'm sure you're absolutely delighted with this, DG.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to the national trials in June 27th to 29th. Perhaps it will be our biggest trials in terms of quality in perhaps over a decade. I can guarantee you that. From the men's 100 meters to the men's 400 meters. I mean, over the years, we know how good we are in the sprint, just that we've not had this sort of numbers. And I dare say only the United States can match us in terms of the numbers of quality of athletes, or maybe sprinters that we even churn out more than the Jamaicans as it stands. I mean, they're past the glory days of Usain Bolt and Ewan Blake. And
hold on, Deji. Did I get you correctly? I said that Nigeria is churning out more quality sprinters than Jamaica?
Absolutely.
Wow.
I mean, I don't miss words when I say that. And you will see that begin to materialize from the Olympics this year. In terms of the quality of what we have and the numbers, like I said, it's only the Americans that can stand us or match us now. And this windfall has been as a repercussion of what we saw from the junior championships in 2021 to the under-18s in 2022, which has now spin off to most of all these athletes that we saw at those junior championships in college, now at the right age of their college eligibility. So you mentioned Samuel Ogazi, Ezekiel and Nathaniel was at that junior championship in Nairobi. Gossen Brume was there. There was Favor Ashe. There's Prosper. Ella was there. Insel Malbon was there. You could go on and mention all of the sprinters, and now they are already getting fully matured. Maybe it might be too early to say that they would medal at the Olympics because it takes another level to win a medal at the Olympics. But boy, oh boy, leading into the World Championship in Tokyo next year, we've got athletes that can challenge for world titles.
Well, DG, if we're looking at it holistically, there are those who look at the relays and say that is where Nigeria's best medal prospects lie, and even argue that the most medals we've won in track and field have actually come from the relays. That maybe while we might not get an individual medal yet, there is a very strong possibility that we might see a Nigerian team on the podium from the relays, be it the 4x100s, 4x400s, or even the mixed relay. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Going into Paris, aside Tobi Amusan and probably Ese Brume, our best chance at winning a medal in Paris would come from the relays. Our usual forte used to be the 4x1 men, but in the last 3 to 4 years, our mixed 4x4 have been a sure bet to get to the final of any major championships. They made the final in Tokyo at the Olympics. They made the final in Oregon at the 2022 World Championships. They made the final in Budapest, where they just came on stock. But I would go out on a limb and say our men's 4x4 has the absolutely best chance to medal. And I'm looking at their split, and it's just interesting to watch. You mentioned Samuel Ogazi running the fastest time since Innocent Ebunike since 1987. 58 seconds. Just absolutely brilliant for a 17-year-old. right? There's Chidi Okezie, who won the 400-meter title at the African Games. He hasn't still qualified individually for the Olympics yet, but he's run a 45 low, which is 45.08 seconds.
And this is a man who actually used to run the 400-meter hurdles before, and he's now doing brilliantly in the flats. You now begin to wonder, what have you been doing since?
Yeah, I mean, most athletes that do the 400 hurdles also do the flats, but it just takes a different technique. You look at Femke Balls, the McCaughlin, they all do the flats too. Then you look at Dube Amene, for example. He's also done a 45 8 seconds already this weekend. And then there's Emmanuel Ojeli, who couldn't go to Bahamas. He's also flying. There's Ezekiel Nathaniel in the mix. So I mean, the 400 meters individual race and the nationals will be very bloody. And it's a race to make the relay team itself, because the IOC has confirmed that only 5 athletes will be registered. Usually it's typically 6. You have 4 starting and 2 on the sidelines, just in case of injuries, but now only 5. So I think we have a strong chance. I mean, the Botswana just won it in Bahamas at the World Relays just a couple of days ago. South Africa came second. Then the Americans and the Belgians are also 2 strong countries that might push us to the limit. But I think with our very good split, we have a very good chance. But besides that, I mean, no doubt, Tobi Amusan is a strong favorite to win our first Olympic title. Then we also have Favour Ofili, who is getting into very good form. As an individual athlete, she ran one of the fastest splits down the back straight for the women's 4x1 in the entirety of the competition itself. So it tells you sort of what she is in. Potentially, she's going to run the 200 meters for the rest of the outdoor season. She competes in Atlanta this weekend at the Atlanta City Games, same as Tobi Amusan too. Not also forgetting Udodi Onwuzurike. We haven't really seen his full best since he
came back from injury last year.
He had a bit of injury, but he's back and getting into his groove now. He's a very good sub-20 runner. So of those 3 athletes individually, you get a feeling that we would get 1 medal there in Paris.
Okay. I'm talking to DG Ogengbo, who is country manager for Making of Champions, one of Nigeria's finest athletic promotions companies. Thank you so much for your time. I know if we gave you the rest of this show, probably to the rest of tomorrow, you can talk about athletics all night. But thank you so much for giving us hope ahead of the Olympic Games, DG. It's always a pleasure having you on the show.
It's a pleasure, Tunde. Thank you very much.